Okay, so we know now that Build 42 Stable is coming out on Wednesday, July 29th. As of the 27th of July, they have just released a new blog post, and we've got some pretty exciting stuff in this. We've got a whole bunch of new features mentioned that I don't think anybody was really expecting, mostly focused around map glow-ups. This is like overhauls and expansion to the existing areas of the map. So to kick this off, I think we're just going to watch this video that they've put together called Postcards from Nox Country, which essentially shows off a lot of those new map areas. So starting off with Riverside. I love the theater. I'm going to go back for like 2 seconds there. I love this. The theater looks amazing. I love that the featured film is called The Plague. Very subtle. Muldraw. We've seen a lot of updates to Muldraw already. The rusty rifle. So this stuff you'll probably already know. Palace Lake. This is like a really small town. Oh, that looks cool. I like the train station. Ekron, one of the new locations. This is like right up against the western border of the map. Okay, this is a big one. Rosewood. So if you don't recognize this, this is the main high street of Rosewood. So this is near to the church, near to the Gigamart. This has had a complete and utter facelift. Like, it looks entirely different. That's the Gigamart now. West Point. Same again. Totally different. I mean, look at that. Look at the police station. Okay, pretty limited look at West Point, but still. Dixie. I think Dixie is the one sort of like on the road from Muldraw to West Point, if I remember rightly. Nice. Okay. So that's all of the map glow-ups. The next statement is pretty much from Ayrton about how they got to this point, like what made them decide to do this. And long story short, you can hear a lot more about this on a video that we've just released today, which was an interview that I did with Ayrton. It is featured later on in this blog post. If you want to hear more about like what got them there, they talk about this quite a bit. They're like thinking behind it. But long story short is that they were already working on some glow-ups for places like Ekron and some of the new places on the western side of the map when they used Muldraw as a bit of like a proving ground to experiment with. And the reception was so good that they essentially expanded the mapping team, hired more people, and just went at it across the entire map. And that is like how we got to where we are now. So what we see in that video and what we're about to see more of is a very long journey that they've been on. And props to them. They look like they've done a really good job. So to confirm which places have been entirely reworked, we've got a list here. Riverside, West Point, Rosewood, Palace Lake, Muldraw, Ekron, and Dixie. And they said the revamp, meanwhile, follows certain standards, while future versions of Project Zomboid will see the rest of the map overhauled to the same rigorous high level. With an idiosyncratic style for each town, all buildings and houses will now be unique. So that means that like there's literally no copy paste at all, which is amazing. And also that must have been a huge job. For a map as big as Project Zomboid to have 0 copied buildings is incredible. That's something that we're very lucky to see. And then in this blog post, special shout out and a thank you to the Indie Stone team for featuring it in the blog. This is the interview that we did. Also, this thumbnail that we've taken here. If you weren't immediately sure on the difference between the old Rosewood and the new one shown in this video, this is the old Rosewood on the left of the thumbnail. It's literally just a gray rooftop building. And that's the new one. So on the right. So that's Rosewood High Street now. It's been completely changed and upgraded. It looks so much better. You don't really notice it until you see them side by side like that as much. Like the sheer value that this update is going to bring. And then they say in terms of the differences between build 41 and 42, the surface area of the map has been doubled in size. And we get a couple of comparisons here. So this is build 41, July 2019. And then we go to build 42 now. You can see all these new areas out to the west side, as well as the expansion to the Louisville airport. We got Dark Wallow Lake as well. So it's important to look back, I think, on how much we've actually gotten during the process of build 42 unstable. Like, yes, it's taken a long time, but man, you can't say there's not enough content in the update. And we also get like a top-down version as well, just for comparison. This is build 41 versus build 42. So we get a whole lot more map space. Also, just really enjoy like the overhauled map in build 42. Looks so much more polished, so much more professional than this version. Really pleased. They say there are many other locations to explore too, like an abandoned orphanage. Been to that location, really creepy. A revamped logging compound, an entirely new prison, Boy Scout camp, and so on. Okay. Interesting. Challenge maps. Some of them are being taken out of rotation in 42.20. Map update also means that classics like a really CDDA and Winter is Coming are returning with improvements. Amazing. They say meanwhile 2 new challenges are available, whether starting at the top of a skyscraper in Top of the World or battling a world full of sprinting zombies in 28 seconds later. Oh, that sounds terrifying. A world full of sprinters. Good. We actually did a video where we started at the top of a skyscraper. I had like a whole VOD series on that. It was about as difficult as you think it would be. All of the zombies from like the top 2 floors coming up to the roof at once because they hear you. It's terrifying to go through that. Would recommend. When we released build 42 unstable, we initially changed the main menu illustration and added other art for loading screens. The artists for these pieces had previously worked with us and provided human created art. However, on release, the community quickly saw what we didn't: inconsistencies and typical AI generated artifacts. In the intense period of work to get to build 42 unstable, we failed to notice the use of AI. As soon as we realized the mistake, the art was removed from the game, and since then, absolutely no AI has been used in our art process. We move past build 42's launch, we began developing the PZ rendered style. As you can see on the flyers, the newspapers, leaflets, and so on, which are made by people like Verlius, I believe, on the team. Used to be part of the PZ community and then got hired by the Indie Stone. And they've been so happy with that approach that basically the main menu title screen is now welcoming that style as well. So the popular image of, I believe it's supposed to be Bob and Kate, but not 100% on that, on the main title screen, where when the lightning flashes, you can see that actually he's eating he's like turned into a zombie and is eating the woman. That is now like a real posed version, like Verlius's flyers and leaflets. They say this will only be the first iteration of the main menu, seeing as we have lots of ideas to make it better and more interactive. Build 42 spawn map and the front end UI improvements as well. I'm glad about the spawn map actually, because I know that some of the spawn locations that you can pick that aren't immediately seen, so only available in like the custom sandbox options, I know their spawns are a little bit static, not very varied right now, so it'd be good to see some improvements to those. And then we get just a few pictures as well of some more of the glow up. So this is the other end of the high street at Rosewood that we didn't get to see during the trailer. So this is like the new church, which I remember quite well because the Gigamart is just to the north of that. The plantation of West Point. I don't know if this is completely new or if this was here before and has like been upgraded. It looks fantastic. Big mansion house. Make for an interesting safe house. This will probably be Riverside. Yeah, Sunset Bar. This is Kentucky State Penitentiary, so Rosewood. Wow, okay, so this is the new Rosewood prison. This looks so much like darker and more dreary and uniform than the current version. I like that a lot. I love like the big windows as well. That fits so well. Okay, I like that one. Town Hall West Point. If I'm being honest, that's not a location that like I remember off the top of my head. And then the art gallery of Riverside. Amazing. Well, we have a lot to check out in this new update. There's going to be a lot of things to discover. I think these map glow-ups are some of the best things that come to Project Zomboid, honestly. They're going to make playing a vanilla playthrough, which a lot of people will be doing on stable, so much more interesting because obviously mods won't be up to date yet. Just a reminder, we do have that interview out with Ayrton if you want an insight into how these map glow-ups came to be. That's already on the YouTube. And also, we're going to be working on a video that will be coming out in a couple days, which basically recaps what's new in Build 42, like what's changed from the previous version to this one for anybody that hasn't played the Unstable branch yet. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and we will see you in the next one.